Hi, I'm Yoshi, and the editor of this video is Mika. This is a review of Jay-Z's 444. If you don't know, Jay-Z is much better than Nas, and that's objective. So, 444 is his new project that was just dropped on June 30th, on the same day as poor old Calvin Harris. Jay-Z is 47 and making a hip-hop album, so this should be interesting. Around New York, these trailers, these ads for 444 were just popping up all over the place. No one knew what it meant, and now it's a Jay-Z album, and there's going to be a film. It's going to be really good. Now, this album is very, very, very different from Magna Carta Holy Grail, the very disappointing, shitty album that came out in 2013. But Jay-Z's back with a hyphen in his name and capitalized letters, and it's exciting, and it's a historic event. I will now be doing a track-by-track quick run-through of the album just to get a taste of the overall album as a feel. So, album starts off with Kill Jay-Z, a chaotic sounding track produced. This entire thing's produced by No ID. A chaotic sounding track with samples going in and out, and it's a very short song, but Jay-Z, it's very kind of Kendrick Lamar "You" approach to it. It's very self-deprecating, and he's talking to his ego. And it's a very nice concept, and it bleeds perfectly into the next track, The Story of OJ, with a very interesting Looney Tunes racist 20s cartoon inspired video that stars Jay-Z as J-Bo, which is a takeoff on Sambo. And this song is, from what I can tell, very much about how society sees African Americans as, how African Americans see themselves as not able to move, not able to get rich, not able to go where Jay-Z went with his business. And it's a very lyrical track and a humongous bumper from No ID again. Very great sampling from Nina Simone. Cuts out, goes into Smile, which is has a perfect intro courtesy of Stevie Wonder's vocals, and those vocals are present throughout the entire track, and it's just an optimistic. It's about smiling in the face of adversity, something that Jay-Z has done a lot throughout his career, and it has great interludes going out, a really good sample once again. And then it goes straight into Caught Their Eyes, which catches your ear immediately with its very, very in-your-face samples, which is very different from the smooth, kind of sunnier, jazzier feel of the rest of the album, more soul-inspired. This is a kind of R&B track, but it's also very, very, very funky almost. It's very uplifting, it's it's a feel-good track. And of course, there's Frank Ocean and more braggadocio from Jay-Z. And then it's a really triumphant cut, one of the highlights in the album. And then it bleeds into 444, which right out of the gate is a humongous banger from No ID. And honestly, it is one of his best songs lyrically I think I can remember since maybe Reasonable Doubt. It's, of course, the apology song that everyone was waiting for Beyonce, and it really shows its humility. And then that's perfect. It goes right into Family Feud, which has great vocals from Beyonce and even, really great vocals from Hope himself. And it's very Chance in its production. I feel it's very gospel, and it's very, very uplifting once again, very happy sounding. Goes right into Bam Bum, right, with Damian Marley and a really classic Sister Nancy sample. And perfect hook. That's all I can say about this. Hear it for yourself. It's very melodic. It goes through many interludes. It's very, very good. And song structure-wise, the next song, Moonlight, is a really good diss towards other rappers and the overrated La La Land. Then it goes right into Marcy Me, which is what started from the bottom should have been. It's kind of like a modern Juicy and kind of a modern Hard Knock Life in its themes, but more of a Jay-Z looking back on his life version of it. And then last but not least, the Elderly Statesman goes in on Legacy, which is probably No ID's best produced cut ever. It is very, very sample filled, but it's also very, very, it's not your traditional boom bap like you'll see on the rest of the album. Very trap. It's very, very unique in its approach, and of course he talks about his legacy. probably in greater detail than he did on Even Black album, on Even Moment of Clarity. And yeah, that's the track by track, that's the rundown. And I think favorite track for me has to be 444 or Story of OJ, because they're absolute standouts, but Caught Their Eyes is also a runner-up. And as a whole, this album is very cohesive, tracks bleed into each other perfectly and cut out a lot of the time to give you new flavors, but it's also very, very smooth at times. Like, he's very smooth, his flow is perfect, his flow is flawless, and as a 47-year-old, this should not be fair. He got his charisma back. I haven't seen him this pompous, this charismatic, and this relatable since maybe Watch the Throne, maybe even American Gangster. And I feel like he's just killing the competition. This might be my album of the year so far. We'll see how that Tyler project holds up against it. Some cons I would say is that probably Jay, although he has his swagger back, he has his charisma back, and he is 47, this is the most mature album I've ever heard in rap. This is unheard of in hip-hop, going this long, this longevity. But some cons for me, they're just nitpicks at this point. It's a really solid project. I'm really surprised, I'm really taken aback. But if I had to choose a con, No ID drags out a lot of the beats to the very end without much change. I mean, Story of OJ has perfect beat switches and very, very good structure, but I feel like, for example, Family Feud and maybe even Smile could have been cut down a bit more, although his lyrics are perfect, so it does help you zone in, but it also kind of lets you zone out a couple of times. And also, I have to say, he does sound very like he's sleepwalking a lot of the time, but that's just because it's so easy for him. Overall, if I were to grade this album, and I will, I'd say an A. I'd say it's not perfect, but it's very near perfect, and it's one of his best. I'd say top 5 J project right here, and it's very replayable, it's very bumpable, just because of its length, and how he just goes straight to business, cuts straight to the chase the entire album. And the metaphors and the entendres and the wordplays are perfect. I would definitely give this album a listen, and my editor himself also agreed with me in saying that this album is an A.